Hey everyone, Johnny Struggles here. We're doing a little Last Starship tonight. We're going to be doing a little commentary. A commentary. We're going to go over some ideas for the combat competition. I'm going to share some things I do and some just tips. I guess a couple things. Won't be a long video. It'll be short. Maybe some of these things you've not seen before could help you out. Maybe not. Maybe you already know them. But either way, I thought I'd try to be a little helpful. So let's just jump into it. So first off, if you're making a ship for the combat competition, put armor on it. You need to have armor. Your ship's going to get hit. Armor allows you to take a free hit. It's heavy. It makes your ship slower. So try to compensate for that. But you need to have armor on your ship. Fully armored. You can't leave any blank spots. Okay, next up. Here's something I've not seen anyone do yet in the competition. Is fuel tanks. So as you've noticed, fuel tanks tend to leak when they get hit and damaged. And for a couple situations, the ship is SOL in that point. In most cases, it's pretty much the end. So what I've done for a long time now that I've not seen anyone else do is I just use fuel loaders instead of tanks. On this ship here, I got 3 loaders, one down there, one down there, with 3 fuel cans. So this is enough fuel for this ship to survive one of the competition rounds currently. It's an idea. This would prevent you from getting a fuel leak. It's a little more expensive because these canisters, you're paying 3 fuel cans. The one thing to do, I do this in normal gameplay as well, not just for an example for competition. This is why I do this in normal gameplay, is to avoid fuel leaks, and I do it on smaller combat vessels to avoid fuel leaks. The main thing to do if you do this is, in normal gameplay mostly, is offset the fuel cans. These are all the same amount, so eventually these would all run out of fuel at the same time. Slightly off. And when that happens, you have to have a guy come over here and load a fuel canister on here. But by the time he gets there, typically you run out of gas and your ship's dead in the water for a little bit and things got to power back up. So what I do is I let the fuel can run down a little bit and then replace it with a new full can. I'll just right click and delete it and add a new one in the design of the ship. So then, the can will be down at 830 and the next one will be at, 1000, whatever it is. I won't let it go down that low. It'll be like 980. It'll be close to the full one, but not too close. That way that can runs out of fuel, the guy comes over, puts a new can on there, then this one runs out. So it keeps the fuel flowing. Either way, this is a neat trick to do to keep your ship from running out of fuel. It's not as effective for bigger ships, especially in the competition, because you would need a bunch of them and it might be more costly, but you can still do it. What I would recommend in larger ships, if you use fuel tanks, use the smaller ones and break your engines and reactors into zones. So if you spring a leak in one, you're not totally dead. You just lose some power and some thrust. So it's not the end of the world. So an idea there, you can just use more smaller tanks and dedicate those smaller fuel tanks to a smaller group of engines and reactors. That's a good idea. Trust me, it's a good idea. Another idea that not everyone has done, I don't know. It doesn't matter if this has been done or not, but I think I always make sure I do is I always have at least one extra crewman. This is a small ship, so I only need one extra crew dude not manning a gun. This extra guy is going to handle reloads and repairs, whatever needs to happen. So this guy can fire a gun. When he's out, he may go reload, but this guy may reload it as well. If this engine takes a hit, this guy can go work on this engine to fix it while these guys are still firing. If I don't have this extra guy, this does not get fixed. Nothing gets fixed unless the gun's taken out, the guy isn't manning the gun. So having an extra crewman or several, depending on how much space you have, can be key because they will help repair your ship while everyone else is busy shooting. So you have fast ships and you have slow ships. This would be a very fast ship, and they're both very good strategies. If you have a slow ship, one idea is to use repair drones to try to repair your ship. But drones have a top speed of about 19 or 20, so your ship has to be going slower than that for the drones to do anything. So one strategy is to be slow, have a decent number of repair drones to do repairs, because you're going slow, you're going to get hit. You're going to get hit a lot. And let the drones do repairs. That is a very good strategy. If you have a ship that goes faster than 20, there's no sense in using drones, because the drones won't catch up and do repairs. That's all there is. Keep that in mind. If you make something slow, give yourself plenty of drones to do repairs. If you're going faster than 19 or 20, don't bother putting it. It's just a waste of money for the competition. So to talk about weapons real quick. When you're fighting an armored ship, Gatling guns do no damage against armor. So if you have a mix of mini ships like this, where you have Gatling guns and cannons, I tend to lean towards just putting cannons on the ship. I may put one Gatling gun or two. I love Gatling guns, but cannons do a lot more damage. And Gatling guns do 0 damage unless the armor is gone. So ships have been taken out in the competition due to Gatling guns. They are usable. Just do it in proper proportions. Don't overload your ship with Gatling guns and not have that many cannons or railguns. Railguns are, high power. They use a lot of energy. They're slow firing, but they can hit a long way away and they fire fast. The round travels fast and hits, depending on the evasion and such. But the main drawback of cannons is when you have small ships like this and they're chasing each other, typically the trailing ship can't turn hard enough or get close enough to get the cannons to fire. Whereas if you had a railgun, the railguns will fire, especially from long range. They'll just snipe from far away because they fire faster. Just when ships are turning, the cannon round just misses them a lot of times. It just goes off the end and misses. So you get different strategies there. If you think you're going to fight a lot of fast-moving ships, you need to have some railguns for that. If you're going to just fight a big thing with cannons, put a bunch of cannons on, I wouldn't rely too much on Gatling guns, is what I'm saying here. Use them. They can be used. They can be key for certain situations, but for the most part, I tend to lean towards cannons, and then having some railguns, just in case I'm fighting something fast movers to be able to hit it. Deflectors are pretty new. I definitely recommend using deflectors. In the January competition, the Defiant made a very good example of using deflectors. It's a small ship, not much health, but it was fast, and had a very well placed out set of deflectors, and it avoided so much damage. That ship would not have survived against the SPS if it didn't have deflectors. But in other terms, when fighting smaller ships like this, when they had one cannon around and they're spread out and you're not getting swarmed with cannon shells, even one deflector would just push the round out of the way and save yourself a lot of damage. So this is kind of small, not worth it. I don't have the power for it, but if you can have it, at least have one or two deflectors. The key thing about deflectors is placement. If you have them too close together facing the same direction, they're just going to target the same cannon round, and you lose some efficiency there. They need to be spread out, different angles and depths, because the first round that enters their field of fire, they attach to it, even if another deflector is already attached to the round, pushing it out of the way. And that's how you can get overwhelmed pretty easily. But I definitely recommend using deflectors. Just be mindful of where you place them and keeping them spaced apart. And the last thing I want to talk about is scaffolding. Scaffolding is very overpowered in this game currently. It weighs nothing. It adds no mass to your ship. It's very cheap. And most of all, it takes no damage when it gets hit. The AI will target scaffolding, will hit scaffolding, but you will take no damage from it. Your ship will take the hit and slow down. It'll take the impact like ships normally do when they get hit by cannons, especially small ones. But they're overpowered. I mentioned this to Chris. I opened a ticket with them on the thing, and I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to do something to help make it less powerful. Because basically right now scaffolding is like a shield. You can use it as a shield for your ship. But let me show you here. Let me get the Monarch loaded up here. Battle stations on. We're going to load up one of Zenra's spider ships. I think the Behemoth would be a good example for this. The Squeege Behemoth. Okay. Far enough away? Yeah. Full throttle with our 3 engines. We have railguns, so the railguns will fire first. There's no issue with the railguns, because we're already in range. But the example will be when we get in the cannon range. I'm pretty sure this will work with this one. So what it's going to work is when the scaffolding here is sticking out the front and gets in range of the cannons are going to start firing at the scaffolding and do 0 damage against this ship. But this guy doesn't have any scaffolding stood now, so when he gets in range of his cannons are going to light him up. So I'm assuming the Monarch's going to just get killed real quick right here. Let's see. So we're already in range of the railguns, so the railgun's already hitting the important parts. And there we go, yep. Shooting at the scaffolding and eating a bunch of rounds. Boom. Okay, one cannon round hit his body there. Beam is at 3% damage. And the Monarch is dead. The Monarch has more health than the Squeegee Behemoth, but that is a perfect example. Scaffolding is pretty overpowered. It's going to change. I don't know if it's changing in Alpha 14. Like I said, I don't know what they're going to do to help remediate this, make it less of an overpowered item. But it is very kind of overpowered, kind of very overpowered. But you're allowed to use it, so I would highly recommend you use it. We'll see how things change and how the game changes, but right now I would suggest using some scaffolding, make it look nice. He made his little spider fleet here. Please keep that in mind with your designs. See if you can work that in. Make sure it's attached to your ship. Don't just have scaffolding floating out in space, not attached to anything. I won't accept that. Well, thanks for watching. We're just going to close it there. Click that like button if you got something out of it. I would appreciate it. And good luck in the competition. The competition, if you're interested in joining, it's on the Discord server. I'll put a link to that in the comments. Join the server, ask questions. The rules are there. Be happy to have more people play. And with that, we will see you on the next one. Thanks, everyone, and bye.